with an opportunity, and the issues were resolved within the nomination period, and he was cleared by the committee. Mr. Hassan Ayariga presented only one completed nomination form. The other two did not have some pages, I think from page 137 to 142. The issues, he was presented with these findings, and he went on to correct them, and he was cleared by the committee. Mr. John Dramani Mahama of the NDC satisfied all requirements and was cleared by the committee. Mr. Alan Kojo Tremanting, independent candidate, satisfied all requirements and was cleared by the committee. Madam Ekwia Donko of the Ghana Freedom Party also resolved issues to do with her nomination. She was subsequently cleared by the committee. Mr. Daniel Augustus Latte also had a number of issues to do with his form. The issues were, however, resolved, and he was cleared by the committee. Madam Akosua Frimpoma Kwamankama had a number of issues, and these issues were brought to her attention and the attention of the party, and they were able to satisfy the requirements, and the committee cleared them. Mohammed Frimpong of the NDP also had a number of issues ranging from a non-submission of a tax clearance certificate for the vice presidential candidate and incomplete particulars of some supporters. The issues were resolved within the nomination period, and he was cleared by the committee. Mr. Kofi Koranting also had a number of issues, including the use of registered voters in a particular district to support the nomination in another district. His issues were, however, brought to his attention, and he rectified them and was cleared by the candidate. So these are the 13 candidates who were cleared by the two committees. Mr. Samuel Apiadankwa, independent candidate, was, however, presented with a number of issues to resolve, including not filing a tax certificate for his vice presidential candidate. And then some of his pages were omitted from the form, and he had incomplete particulars for some of his supporters. Unfortunately, though he was provided with the opportunity to correct this, he was unable to do so, and the committee recommended that he be disqualified. Ms. Janet Asana Nabila also used the registration details of particular voters to support her nomination, the registration details of supporters in certain districts to support her nomination in other districts. Again, the vice presidential candidate did not sign the nomination form. The issues were, however, not resolved, and the committees recommended that she be disqualified. Mr. Desmond Abrifa, an independent candidate, he also used the registration details of voters in a particular district to support the nomination in other districts. He was presented with these findings, but was not able to resolve them, and the committee required or requested that he be disqualified. Nana Japon Stevens, an independent candidate, also used the registration details of voters in a particular district to support the nomination in other districts. In addition, he had incomplete particulars for supporters. He was not responsive to the nomination requirements, and the committee required and asked that he be disqualified. Mr. Bernard Mona also had incomplete particulars of supporters. He also used registered voters in a particular district to support the nomination in other districts. His form also contained varying signatures for the same supporters, and in some cases the same signature for different supporters. the committee was of the view that he be disqualified. Mr. Paul Perko, an independent candidate, had incomplete particulars for his supporters, and he also used registered voters in a particular district to support the nomination in other districts, and the committee recommended that he be disqualified. Mr. James Opong, an independent candidate, his statutory declaration was not notarized. Additionally, he used registered voters in a particular district to support the nomination in other districts, and the committees recommended that he be disqualified. Mr. Samuel Sapong Ankra, an independent candidate, also used registered voters in a particular district to support the nomination of other districts, and he was not able to effect the corrections of this, and the committees recommended that he be disqualified. Mr. Niamudaku, the committee found that his forms were incomplete, and again he also used registered voters in a particular district to support the nominations in other districts, and the committee recommended that he be disqualified. Last but not least is Mr. Kofi Asamoah of the People's Progressive Party. He used registered voters in a particular district to support the nomination in other districts. Additionally, he had incomplete particulars of some of the supporters, and he was unable to satisfactorily correct these anomalies, and the committee recommended that he be disqualified. As mentioned earlier, the candidate for the Progressive Alliance Ghana, Mr. Pipi, withdrew after the filing process. He did file, but prior to the decisions being made, he withdrew his nomination forms. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, out of the total of the 24 nominations received, the two committees tasked to review the forms and to make recommendations to the Commission have cleared 13 candidates. And once again, I'd like to mention them. Mr. Mahamudu Bawumia of the New Patriotic Party, Mr. John Dramani Mahama of the National Democratic Congress, Mr. Alan John Kojo Tremanting, an independent candidate, Mr. Christian Kwabena Andrews, Ghana Union Movement, Mr. Daniel Augustus Latte of the Ghana Great Consolidated People's Party, Mr. George Chumberima, an independent candidate, Mr. Nana Kwame Bediako, an independent candidate, Mr. Hassan Ayariga, All People's Congress, Mr. Kofi Apalu of the Liberal Party Ghana, Madam Ekwe Adonko, Ghana Freedom Party, Madam Kosia Frimpong Kamankama of the Convention People's Party, Mr. Mohammed Frimpong of the National Democratic Party, and Mr. Kofi Kranting, an independent candidate. I'd like to mention that the Commission upheld the recommendations made by the two candidates, and to add that the committees that were established have spoken. It is important to note again that all the presidential candidates were provided an opportunity to correct the errors of their nomination forms. Detailed feedback was sent to each candidate to assist them with the information. I'd like to also note that those who were not able to qualify were not able to correct the errors identified with their nomination forms, hence their disqualification. This afternoon, the agents of the candidates who qualified to contest as presidential candidates for the 2024 election will ballot to pick their positions to determine the order in which they would appear on the ballot paper. And I believe that we'll be welcoming them shortly. Distinguished citizens, as we head towards the 7th December general elections, we urge all of you to work with the Commission to strengthen and uphold the integrity of our systems and the Commission as a whole. Our doors remain open, and we assure our stakeholders that we are receptive to constructive feedback and advice. Indeed, the feedback and advice from Ghanaians, which we receive on a daily basis, has helped to enrich our work and enabled us to serve you better. Before we bring the curtain to a close and go on to the balloting for positions, we would like to wish all the qualified candidates the best of luck in their bid to ascend the high office of the presidency. We urge all candidates to engage in a decent campaign, a campaign based on policies and programs that will lead to the betterment of our society. As referees, our role is simply to arrange and organize orderly, fair, transparent, and credible elections. We assure you that we are working to do just that. We as a commission do not have the power to determine who wins elections. It is not in our control to determine the outcome of the election. The power indeed lies with the good people of our dear country. It is only the citizens and the citizens alone who can determine who should lead them, not the Electoral Commission. It is the candidate who is given power to lead this country by the citizens who will be declared the President of the Republic of Ghana by the Electoral Commission come the 7th of December 2024. To the aspiring presidential candidates who did not make this process, we wish you better luck next time. Your filing fee would be refunded to you. And to all of you, our distinguished citizens, we thank you for believing in us and for walking this journey with us. We pledge that we will conduct ourselves in truth and integrity and organize free, fair, credible, transparent elections come December 7th, 2024. We will not let you down. On your part, we charge you to uphold and defend the good name of Ghana and her institutions. So help us, God. May God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong. Let peace reign. Thank you. Yeah, so let's do that.
Thank you very much. We are not taking questions on this note. Thank you. We'll go into the next event, which is the balloting for positions on the ballot paper. On this note, we'll ask the pressmen and women occupying the seats to give way to the reps and candidates to come and take over the seats so that we can go on with the next program. Thank you.
You have to end this with a closing prayer. Look what the ballot.
We want to collapse.
No, you can't collapse it because you that's the
problem.
Yeah.
We'll try. So like we have to come in.
Where are you going to collapse?
We will leave where the media is.
And where are you going to put it when you collapse?
We will collapse it and shift it to the back.
You don't want a room making tap. Announce it. You're going to make it. They are quickly. Do that. So they give way to you. Said, did you hear what I said?
Yes,
so
we need to announce it. Please, the media. Can you move to the back so that the candidates and their agents can take their seats?
You're watching TV3 and we are your election command center. It's 77 days to the general elections, and as you see on your screens right now, the Electoral Commission is holding a news conference to achieve two objectives. The first one, which has already been achieved, is to announce the outcome of the filing of nominations. Nominations ended 13th of September, last Friday. We know that so far 13 of the 24 aspirants are now candidates, and which brings us to the second part of the news conference that the Electoral Commission is holding right now, which is where the candidates will ballot for a position. So whichever, all 13 of the candidates will go in there and pick the ballot where they will be placed on the ballot paper at the end of the day. I know it's a lot of ballots, but you get the point. I want to run you through the 13 candidates who have now, who will now be balloting or picking their positions on the ballot paper come December 7th for the general election. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, the flag bearer of the NPP, John Dramani Mahama, the flag bearer of the NDC, Alan Kojo Tremanting, an independent candidate, also leader of the Movement for Change, Christian Kwabena Andrews, Ghana Union Movement, Daniel Augustus Latte Jr., Great Consolidated Popular Party, George Berima Edu, another independent candidate, Nana Kwame Bediako, independent candidate and leader of the New Force Movement, Ekuadonko Ghana Freedom Party, Hassan Abdullahi Ayariga, All People's Congress, Kofi Akpalu of the Liberal Party of Ghana, Mohamed Frimpong of the National Democratic Party, Nana Akosua Frimpong Kuma of the Convention People's Party, and Kofi Koranting, another independent candidate. So these are the 13 out of the 24 who filed their nominations as of 13th September. The Chief Returning Officer and Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Jean Mensah, has told us that the remaining 11, one of them decided to withdraw their application or nomination to the Electoral Commission. And the remaining 10 were disqualified for many technical reasons. Two of those include the fact that they were not able to get the appropriate signatures. We also know that there were some whose tax certificates of their running mates didn't work. And I'll add the last one, which had to do with signatures not being signed. As you may have been watching us here on TV3, we've brought you some interviews already, like from Bernard Mona, who's told us that, look, they told me about these anomalies. I corrected them, sent it back to them. I am unsure why I was disqualified. Well, Jean Mensah is saying these are the reasons you were disqualified. You were not able to rectify those errors in time or on time, in order for you to be passed on to the next stage. We also know Janet Nabla has been speaking to 3FM, where she's told, 3FM that, listen, I put everything together. But today we have learned that her running mate did not sign the form. And then also she used candidates, she used signatures of some people in a certain district in another district. And so it would seem that there was some kind of duplicity in her document. The Electoral Commission has also identified that. So all in all, we see that 13 people will be on the list. It sounds like a really long one, but we'll also know where each of those candidates will be placed shortly. The Electoral Commissioner had said that, the political parties will come in and then do the ballot one after the other. In a tad, we'll show you some of the candidates in pictures. The candidates who have, sailed through and will be on the ballot paper. I'll go over the list again. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia of the NPP, John Dramani Mahama, Alan John Kojo Tremanting, and perhaps I should go with what is on the screen at the moment. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, John Dramani Mahama, Dr. Hassan Ayariga, Christian Kwabena Andrews of GUM, Percival Kofi Akpalu, Liberal Party of Ghana, Ekuadonko Ghana Freedom Party, George Berima Edu, an independent candidate, Nana Kwame Bediako, also an independent candidate. And so that's it. It's happening now at the Electoral Commission offices here in Accra. They have achieved the first part of the news conference, which is to announce again those aspirants who have sailed through and are now officially candidates in the 2024 presidential race. And then the second part will be the balloting, which will determine where each candidate will be placed on the ballot paper that you and I will have on December 7th, 2024 to choose both presidential and parliamentary candidates. And I explain, once the presidential candidate chooses a certain position on the ballot paper, it would be the same position, you know, that party has in the parliamentary race. Of course, in the event of an independent candidate, it would also be much more nuanced than I'm saying now. But I want to go back to the Electoral Commission's news conference, where she says that the Electoral Commission does not have the power over who wins the election. Crucial point she's making to reassure the citizens and also the political parties gathered there that they have not done any hanky-panky. And you can understand why in the context of, you know, the debate over the integrity of the Electoral Commission. And then adding that to, you know, the contest over why certain people are not in the election. If you listen to our interview with Bernard Mona, he questioned why he's not there. He cast insinuations as to if it is because he joined the NDC's Enough is Enough protest. In fact, he went on to tell us that he had calls concerning that. But the Electoral Commission has reiterated their resolve and said, we do not have the power over who wins the elections. She also wished those who did not sail through, you know, better luck next time, and assured them that the monies they paid in order to be on the list will be refunded. I guess many of them will be looking forward to it now. But I do want to show you the list again. It's happening now at the Electoral Commission, balloting for presidential candidates. The list of 13 we have now. The NPP's Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, Chandramani Mahama of the National Democratic Congress, Alan Kwadwo Tremantinho, an independent candidate, leader of the Movement for Change, Christian Kwabena Andrews of Ghana Union Movement, Daniel Augustus Latte Jr. of Great Consolidated Popular Party, George Chum Berima Edu, an independent candidate, Nana Kwame Bediakom, also an independent candidate, and you have on your screen Ekuya Donko, who is a leader of the Ghana Freedom Party, Hassan Abdullahi Ayarega, All People's Congress, Kofi Akpalu of the Liberal Party of Ghana, Mohammed Frimpong of the National Democratic Party. The National Democratic Party is the party that was formed when Nana Kunedu withdrew from the NDC. She formed the National Democratic Party, and for every election it would appear that they have fielded a candidate. In this one, the candidate will be Mohammed Frimpong. Nana Akosua Frimpong Kuma of the Convention People's Party, after her very hard time as chairperson of the CPP, it would appear their issues have been resolved and she will be their candidate on the ballot. Where she will be placed, we will find out in a tad. But we also have Kofi Koranting, who is an independent candidate. Kofi Koranting is one of those independent candidates that has been steadfast in the politics of this country. A few other independent candidates did not make it in the race, but you can tell that comparatively, we have quite a number of independent candidates. If I count for my list, we have about 4 independent candidates. Alan Kwadwo Tremanting, George Chum Berima Edu, Nana Kwame Bediakom, and Kofi Koranting. We also have only 2 women. Ekuya Donko of the Ghana Freedom Party and Nana Akosua Frimpong of the Convention People's Party. If we had had Janet Nabla of the PMP, she would have been the 3rd woman on the candidate. But as fate will have it, she is not. She was disqualified. And you can see on your screen that the political party representatives are beginning to take their seats. I see Hassan Ayarega there, taking his seat right there in the front. A few others. Oh, and there is Nana Akosua Frimpong Kuma in the Gele headgear. She's also taking her seat in order to be close to being on the ballot. She is going to pick her position on the ballot today. She's one of 2 women in the race. Now, I was talking about the number of independent candidates. There are 4 of them, and then there are 9 political parties represented, you know, in the presidential race of 2024. So the parties that are represented there now, that are seated now or are taking their seats in a very short while, we'll be picking. We'll know who is going to be a Shroho, who is going to be a Sieho, who is going to be somewhere in the middle. And perhaps it will take us a step closer to the 2024 polls. Because, as I told you earlier, it's 77 days to the election. It's a few hours. And there you see Kofi Kranting also there. First person in that shot you see is Kofi Kranting, the independent candidate on the list. Want to have some conversations now. I want to talk to Dr. Jonathan Asante-Ochre about the developments that we have seen in the last few hours in this country. Doc, good afternoon to you. What are your thoughts about how things are playing out so far?
I will say that I'm rather impressed that we do not have such a long list, and even 13 is still on the high side. And I think that I always said and advocated that the EC should crack the whip and ensure that they use administrative processes according to law so we don't get such a huge list filing. It is indicative of the fact that, well, when the status quo ante fails, so to speak, that is why you have such a long list coming up. And so I think that even this 13 is still on the high side, but administratively it is manageable.
I see. And for those who have been disqualified, we are starting to hear some of the reasons for the disqualification. Were these the kind of reasons you were expecting? I mean, at this stage in our democracy?
Well, I think that the, what is it called? Qualification processes have already been outlined. You need to follow that. And so if you are unable to do so, because of the long list, I think that's the more reason why the EC, really applied it. And it's just unfortunate. I've always advocated for minority members as well to be, on the ticket in terms of presidential. So we have other views, not only the two main, parties, the views of the two main parties. But I think that maybe the reasons could be a bit, strong or quite harsh. But all the same, I think that for the purposes of having a smooth administration, of the elections in terms of, that huge number that, had intended to file, I think it is all well and good, if you ask me. It is all well and good.
I see.
I still insist that the 13 is still quite high, but all the same, it will have catered for minority views as well as majority views.
But I mean, there's really nothing we can do about the number of people who decides that they want to be a part of the politics of this country, vie for the top job of this country, is there?
Can you come again?
I'm saying that there's really nothing we can do about the number of people who choose to vie for the top job of this country, is there?
I'm struggling to get your question.
I apologize for that. Now, I'll try again. I'm saying that there is really very little we can do to stop people from vying for the top job of this country. And I'm asking that with the background that you say that 13 is still a high number for the presidential race.
Well, okay, I get it. To become a president, I don't think that it's that simple and easy. Many are those who feel that, we should have a third force. The third force, yes, is good, but it's not that simple and easy. If you get the opportunity to win the elections, then probably you can build another party, so to speak. But I still think that the 13 will now cater for both views, the views of the minority and the majority. And I don't think that becoming a president is that simple. I mean, we need to see that you've really lived. You have really lived a life worthy of emulation. You are resourceful, you have the resources for that matter, and that you have the vision that people can easily buy into. And these are some of the pre-qualifications that, for me, should be disposed to all presidential candidates. It is not just any Tom, Dick, and Harry that could just fire just because you have some kind of money. We need to protect the integrity of the presidency. And I think that cracking the whip at this time is all well and good.
Indeed. Doc, before we get into the significance of the positioning of candidates, I do want us to look at the list of candidates that we have now. We know that there are 9 political parties. Of that 9, there is 1 female presidential candidate, and there are 4 independent candidates. Excuse me, of the 9, there are 2 female presidential candidates and 4 independent candidates. What do these numbers tell you?
Well, these numbers tell me that whenever you see such a huge number clamoring to become president, then it means that the party that is in power, the presidency or the president, has not really done well. And that is the more reason why you have such a huge number, clamoring to become president. 4 independent candidates. I think for now, 2 of them, are quite visible than the other 2. Well, Kofi Crontrain, not bad. He speaks well. But as to whether he has what it takes to go around, all right, to, market himself, I think for them, it is all about media relations.
Right.
It goes beyond that. Now, with the CPP, for example, the woman presidential candidate, is Madame Kumankuma. She really speaks well. But unfortunately, the CPP, as we know, does not have resources. They are not able to rope in, new membership.
Indeed, Doc, why don't you hold your thoughts for me? I'll come back to you. You finish that point. We'll have a bit more, interaction on the subject. I'm going to take you now to the Electoral Commission's offices here in Accra. Samuel Tete, the Deputy Chair at the Electoral Commission in charge of operations, is speaking now.
There's nothing like preempt. We shall validate the numbers at the back. We sign at the back. So that if somebody has already brought something from the house, he cannot get the same. After we have endorsed at the back, we then fold them here and there in the presence of all of you and keep them in the various balls. Then we'll have to shake them vigorously, and then we'll place them here and call you in the order of filing of a nomination.
A point of order, Director Electoral Service. You began by saying we'll have 13 more, and then you were interrupted. At this stage, all nominees for the presidential level are individual. So why separate independent party-sponsored individuals?
Thank you very much. Normally what we do is that the party-sponsored candidates come first before the independent candidates. And so they will vote for positions first, and then the independent candidate will also follow suit.
So my worry is that it will mean that we are being discriminated against as independents. We are all fighting for the same level of power. We are all investing the same resources. And we are engaging the same electorate. So why should it be the case that the party-sponsored candidate is preferred and given an opportunity to be top of the ballot? Today I came to select number 1. So if you don't allow me to be part of the initial lot, it means I can't have number 1.
Thank you.
I think, let's be very clear. It's an administrative arrangement the Commission has put in place, and the Commission hasn't varied it. So please, kindly bear with it. It's something we've been using all this while. We haven't changed it, so we'll make sure the Commission hears your concerns. But as we are here, this is the procedure, is that we finish with that of the parties. Then the other candidates who are not sponsored by political parties will follow suit. That has been the tradition. So we'll let the Commission know of your concerns. That's Mr. Chiramatin Yes, so commission will know about your concern. So please let us proceed. Thank you.
You still want to?
Yes. I think that I do agree with the commission. As an independent presidential candidate, you cannot be on the same power with a political party. This has been the usual norm of balloting in the electoral commission, and I think that we should still continue with that. After the political parties, then the independent candidates are considered. I agree with you.
No, that's not the position. The commission didn't say so. Please.
It's not anything based on the substantive.
Thank you very much.
Please, have you shown it to all of them here?
Yes.
Please.
So what we are saying is that we have heard you.
No. So please,
we have heard you.
We have explained. So
yes.
Listen to the commission's position.
Yes, that's all.
I think they say.
I have two issues. One has to do with the balls, and the other has to do with whether this balloting has any implications for the parliamentary positions in the constituencies. So, if it has implications for the parliamentary positions in the constituencies, you may have to explain that to us. Regarding the balls, because this is a probability exercise, is it a case that you cannot touch, drop, and pick another one? Okay. So once you touch, you have to pick it. We need to know the rules. And the reason is, if you can touch and move to another ball, then it means that just observing it is not enough. Weights would have to be checked. So you would have loved that we were given enough time to examine the balls instead of just looking at them in the bowl. So we want to know exactly.
Okay, so
they want to examine the balls.
Let them, those who would want to examine, let them examine. There are others who may not want to examine. They are satisfied with the first level. So please send them around.
So I think they can be here.
No.
So all those who want to come.
Put them in the book. Put them in the book.
But they don't vanish.
I think you have to increase your lenses.
Forensic examination. Forensic.
Yes.
Thank you. Then my next thing is whether
parliamentary. So let's finish with the.
Is there any party or let's say candidate who would want to examine it?
No.
Finish. Is there someone who would want to examine it? Let them do so.
some bias is not used.
APC.
Is that okay now?
APC want to speak.
Parliamentary,
Thank you very much.
So, please, these are the numbers. Let me show the numbers to you. Then the last number 9.
Contest presidential.
Thank you very much. Once we are all satisfied with the forms, please wait. Don't sign it now, please. Not now. We'll sign it here for everybody to see before we fold it.
So actually, we should
Who have even wanted to break that end, but it's
You have a question?
Yes, we're not satisfied with the vote, and we're not satisfied with the arrangement. I can't stand behind this man, and I think that Ghana is a country where equality, equity, and empowerment should be aligned with the nation. Now, if you show discrimination in a place like DC, then it's not fair. We all went through an amount of work and process to be able to qualify. Now, once we're qualified, you cannot put some aside and deal with some first and deal with some later. You cannot tell us that the last four who are independent will now choose out of 9 to 13. And if that's what the law is, I'd like the media to know that from now, the country will prepare for that any time we will walk into this place and we are independent candidates, then we're second-class citizens.
We are not saying you are second-class citizen. What we are saying is that this has been the convention. This is an administrative, totally listening to what.
So if a party picks the first position during the second ballot, it means that that party at the level will also be number 1 on the ballot. If you pick number 2, you are going to be number 2 throughout 276 constituencies. Number 4 is the same, number 5 is the same. But there can be instances where some might not have 5, sorry, for some specific constituencies. So maybe somebody is number 4 here, but in a particular constituency he did not, he or she do not have a parliamentary candidate contesting for that political party. There will be that push-up system. In that situation, the one who is number 5 will be pushed up to be number 4, and it will follow in that order. We have some political parties that are 5 for all the constituencies. Others have 5 in some selected constituencies. So when such a thing happens, and you do not have a candidate in that particular constituency, and you are maybe number 4, the number 5 position, the party with the number 5 position, will be pushed up to become number 4. And then the push-up will affect all those in it. Then again, we have some political parties that are not contesting the presidential election. But they have also have candidates who are filing for the constituency elections, the parliamentary elections. In just a situation, after those who are filing the presidential one, for instance, like if you have all the contesting in the constituency, those political parties will come next before the independent candidates come. So, for instance, if a constituency has a PP candidate there, PPP is not on the presidential ballot. So after all the 9 at that constituency, they will be number 10, the 10th position. In a case where all the 9 political parties who filed the presidential election are contesting, they will be number 10. Then where you have more than one independent candidate, they will also ballot for position 11 and 12 if there are 2. Then they too will be there. Where there's only one independent candidate, we will just show up to position 11. So for now, we are coming to go through the ballot for.
This will be understand. Excuse me again. I'm sorry if I'm interrupting or intruding. So to be here, it has. We have candidates like President K.A. before at number 13. The balls were open. Everybody could pick anything and they can end up at any number. Why is it that right now it's only up to the 9?
It's never the case. Please, just for us to move on. Please,
you mentioned President before number 13. Which election was that?
No. Please.
Were there independent candidates?
Please, sit down.
Let me correct you, please.
No. Please. Here we are in charge. So, please, what we are basically is that I made it clear that the commission, this is something we are 7 commissioners, only 2 of us are here. This will be made known to the commission. So currently the this invitation we are doing is that we finish with the political parties, then we do the independent. This is a major concern you have raised. And with independent collaboration will be moved of your position.
Allow him to release his frustration. 1 year, sir. 2 half structures. Independence.
Let's do it. Please, let's.
Mr. Wabi, someone please sit down. Mr. Bediako, please sit down. Please, Dr. Yanga. Please sit down. Please.
We cannot allow independent candidates. We need to have your result.
Please, we are making progress. Just sit down. Please, let's move. So I think there was a final explanation about the political parties. Assuming 2 parties don't contest the presidential or 3, and they are also in the constituencies, they are also going to be balloting. So if in that manner, the same. So please, let's make progress.
Thank you very much. Please, we have 1 to 9 written here. For transparency's sake and credibility's sake, I'm calling upon administrative officers to sign at the back of each of them. take a pen and sign. When you sign, you put it aside. Just put it there.
Happening right now at the Electoral Commission is the balloting of positions for the presidential race in the 2024 elections. If you've been watching us from the beginning, I told you that it will also affect the parliamentary positions of candidates who will be on the ballot. Director of Electoral Services has been explaining how that, the nuances that come with that. We'll talk a bit more about that. But what has caused the delay at the moment is the fact that the independent candidates do not want to be treated, they do not want political parties to be prioritized, so to speak, before them, because the EC's internal, decisions they have taken with regards to how the balloting will go is that the political parties will pick first, and then the independent candidates will follow. That charge has been led by the New Force movement and the Movement for Change. And as you saw, the presidential candidate for New Force movement, who is on the ballot as an independent candidate, Nana Kwame Bediako, has been very, very outspoken about that over there, almost entering a banter with the NPP's Evans Nimako, who is also the director of elections there. But we also saw how fiery Yabuabia Samoa of the Movement for Change was when Hassan Ayarega had attempted to say that it is so because the political parties have structures. It didn't sit down well with the independent candidates. And then we saw the intervention of, Dr. Bosman Asari, also a deputy chair of the Electoral Commission, explaining that Dr. Bayuo had already given the explanation as to how this will go and why it is so. What you see there now is another exercise to ensure that the process is free, fair, and transparent. Everybody is at rest as to where they will be on the ballot paper. And we have been told by the Director of Electoral Services that the numbers have been put on the paper, 1 to 9. So in the first process, the political parties are going to choose in the first process, followed by the independent candidates. And you can understand why it's 1 to 9, because there are 9 political parties and 4 independent candidates. So when you choose, right after that, well, we see the Nakwame Bediako. Let's find out what's happening. I have no idea. Let's find out what's happening.
I'm sorry that we're all here for one purpose.
Two, I'm folding. Just make sure the signature that
It doesn't matter whether
all of them are
listening. The
signature doesn't show.
And in fact, that should not be that. And all of you are facing.
Why do you allow this man to make such a very baseless allegation? You don't know what you are doing and you are here commenting and lamenting. This process has been there over years. Jerry. Making allegations and wild and all that. Please, you just
address the chair.
Jerry, please.
Go. Who cares whether you are here or not? This has always been the format.
Jerry.
Yeah, we tell him this has been the format. Whether he wants to stay or not, this is his problem.
Please.
You don't even know what is going on.
My problem is you are
He's surprised.
Yeah, you are mature. You know the system very well.
Dr. Erika, please, let's make progress.
I think it is first time coming to a place like this.
So the 9 balls with the numbers in there.
Hello. Please, the 9 balls are here. Each of them contain a different number from 1 to 9. We'll be calling upon the reps of the political parties according to the order of filing your nominations. So we call you, you come and pick here, and then you have to open it and show it to the camera for everybody to see before you say that. This is the first stage. You are picking for the order. It is the second stage. That is where we are going to pick for the position. So if you pick number 1, it means you will pick. You will be the first to pick in the second stage. If you pick number 2, you will be the second to pick in that one. Thank you. So, separate candidates.
Thank you, Director of Electoral Services. So, by the order in which the political parties' candidates file their nominations, NPP filed first in the name of Dr. Mahmudu Bawumia. Shall we invite the NPP rep?
No, it's here.
No, please. Hello, please. Allow the director to talk. Please. It's random picking, isn't it? Yes. I've not picked more than 1. No, then don't touch. Hello? Don't touch. But it's not for you to give the terms of engagement. Please. To open this LSC.
No, can't go back.
No, but don't do that. You don't have the right. You do something like that. This is conditional probability. Ask Musa Dangwa. Please. No, but others should pick before I show mine.
No.
This one is even the order for picking. So yes.
The other one.
Chairman.
Number 1. What number? Please give him the right to mention so that we can record it. Show it and mention your number.
So at the second round, the new Patriotic Party representative for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will be the first to pick. You were the first to file.
So what number do you pick?
Number 1.
Thank you, MPP. This is followed by LPG. LPG.
You won't translate.
Oh, no. Please sit down. LPG. Please, do I have the ball? Where is the ball? Okay. No, we don't put it back. LPG. Mr. Evans, the Mahu, please, can you take your seats? Let's give the forum order here.
No, please show it.
Number 8.
The next to come is Gu. The rep of Gu.
I had number 3 for Gu.
Number 3. Shall we invite the APC to come and pick? You can take the number away. APC.
What number is following me? Don't worry. When you touch me, then you give you one number.
The NDC should get ready. APC is speaking now.
That's right.
ABC, what number?
Number 2.
Number 2, ABC.
So give me the.
Shall we invite the rep of NDC?
Fifi, how are you?
NDC.
Fifi. So we'll go to number 3 again.
Number 7.
Number 7, NDC. Number 7. Oh, please, you keep the number. Please take the number. Yes. We are going to use different set of numbers for the final round. Shall we invite the rep of NDP?
Only one person. The 2 of them.
Yes, sir. Echo. Fine. Inshallah. Yeah. Open it for me. Number 4.
NDP number 4.
Yes, sir. You can take it along. Okay, that's all right.
GFP. Madam Ikiadongo. Madam Ikiadongo, the rep of Madam Ikiadongo.
Where's the rep?
Ikiadongo. We can't leave that number idle, so we have to get somebody to come and pick. Yes.
What the person not here?
Amadi, I picked the last one.
Let's go to the next.
We give her the last.
CPP, the rep of CPP.
Magic number 9.
Number 9 for CPP. GCPP. Number 6. Number 6. GCPP number 6.
Rebecca 5.
So can somebody?
"77 days to the general elections here in Ghana. We are your election command center. Happening right now is the balloting stage in the entire electoral process. What we have seen so far is the candidates in the from the political parties pick their positions. Not on the ballot paper, their positions to pick their positions on the ballot paper. So whatever they pick now will determine how they fall in line, the order with which they will pick those positions on the ballot paper. At the end of today, we will know who will be positioned where, who will be pictured where on the ballot paper that we will use on December 7th. Again, the process began with the political parties. Today, we know where each of them is ordered, in terms of going to pick the next, number to be on the ballot paper. The MPP maintains the first position, so they'll be the first in line to pick for the ballot. The NDC 7th, Christian Kwabena Andrews of the Ghana Union Movement will be the third in line. We also have the GCPP being the 6th in line. The All People's Congress, Hassan Ayariga being 2nd in line. Kofi Akpalu of the Liberal Party of Ghana will be the 8th in line. The 4th in line will be Mohammed Frimpong of the National Democratic Party. And 9th will be Nana Akosua Frimpoma Kumankuma of the CPP. Note that we didn't mention Ekuya Donko of GFP because her representative was not there at the time that she was called to come and pick her position in line. But we also saw that the Electoral Commission immediately took a decision that when they are done, they will be the last on the ballot. So we have seen the first phase. We're going to see the independent candidates also choose as well, and then we'll move on to the final stage, after which we'll know who is where on our ballot paper. Let's go back there.
Screw them. So much difference between this ball and that ball. This one and that.
This one. Yeah. Okay, so it's okay. If there is difference, then let me have it replaced from the top.
So
are you okay?
So in fact, on account of this, let me go back and examine. You see that this halo. So different from, I can understand the feeling, but this halo, it makes it too distinct.
That halo, only that one is different.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let me. Let's examine.
It can't be there. No. Wait.
No, you don't have to drop it in. That's all.
I'm not done. I'm not done.
Okay.
Let me examine it.
We'll give it to you. Don't let it.
I'm not done. Look. What we are doing is steeped in theory. It is conditional probability. In conditional probability, we don't want any bias in this. Is that not it? Yes. Good. Media, examine this wall and compare it to the others. And you see this almost half a centimeter kind of halo. So it is only fair that this ball, one, is taken out. Two, it makes the first round of picking a bias selection. It does.
It's not like that. What is really your basis? Let's examine.
So get it on examination.
No, not
please leave the ball and let us examine it.
Examine it.
Yes. Bring the ball and let us examine it. I think we be his judgment alone.
Please.
General, what means alone? And so you can take the ball.
The balls are all the same. You read.
Fred, let's replace that one. Let's show it to Alex.
Hello, Kofi, please take that ball. The ball is contested. Please take that one out. Yes.
Okay.
And let's
I'm taking that one out.
Let others examine it.
Okay. No, I'm taking that out. I'm changing it. I'm changing it.
No, let him examine it.
No, this here. So if you see it, how would they be able to see?
No. So please take that one out.
Let's take it out.
Don't let that ball get into the hole. Take it out. Hello.
This and that. They are all the same.
Hello.
Let's put this one. They are all the same. Hello. Contesting this ball.
So leave that ball to him. Hello. Let's also examine it.
Let's just leave it.
If you don't send it round, how would they compare?
No, so bring it.
He's contesting that ball. Let us examine it.
They are all the same.
Kofi.
Dog, Farah.
They are not the same.
No, they are. They are. Check this and check that. They are all the same.
Do you want me to show you the difference?
Hello.
Don't take care of these things away.
Please, no, please. This is the ball that is contesting, isn't it? The ball.
To compare with
And let me show you why I'm saying it's not the same.
Hello.
If you have one, let's.
Please, pass it on.
Why would you give that? Give the roll.
No, but we've shown you all the balls.
Please.
Okay. Take that.
No. Bring the ball. NDC.
Please, it's right before you just examine.
Sit down, just examine, please. Just examine and let's make it.
Just do your examination.
Do your examination.
What is all the speech?
We are talking about unbiased.
You have to bring it and change it. If they wanted to change the whole ball.
And please, we need to.
Yeah, let's just change the whole
remove it.
All right.
It's not just a matter of removing. Have you all compared? I want you to go round.
But you know that's what we should
I want the media to go
Let's remove that one. Let's make
No.
why are you making it?
It has been removed.
Is that how you're supposed to do that? Is that the way to go? This is what we come and move on. Okay, is this their determination?
What's the issue?
He has raised the issue about the ball, and that ball has been taken out. We have to still be waiting.
No, we are waiting for a new ball, please. We are not waiting. We are waiting for a new ball.
You wait. Let's allow the man to come down.
Okay. Why don't we change the title? Why would you put it in the dark sack?
Where have you seen this? Where? That is not to be.
No, way back.
Tell me how this express is conducted. This is the first time we are
I think the first
No, you see, this thing will become contentious. It's only fair that the media has a closer No, but don't take that ball away.
My friend, we are here for something. Stop competing the process. If you have
No, we will allow you.
If you are an
you've heard me.
we are here for it.
Please,
so
we are not
let's wait. Yes, so wait, let's get it.
Please. Commission, wait, it's coming. When it comes, then we will allow you.
Commission, let's proceed. Because
no, you don't make that decision.
No,
we have a consensus, President.
Are you saying we should not proceed because of your?
I have a fundamental issue to raise.
What is you again?
The first ballot
examine the ball before we
because there was a biased ball.
No, because you were giving your opportunity, you wait. Let's allow them.
Yes,
Please
We are replacing it. That's it. No.
So you have a please.
Let me explain myself.
Please, no,
let me explain myself. What I'm submitting further is that so long as that ball and
that you yourself attested.
Oh, it's also please.
Oh, he was here. He was talking with this.
Please, he has the floor. Allow him to make.
He was here. Why are you making
It's also keep quiet, please. Director has given the floor. Please go.
Grab the floor. Oh, sorry. Thank you. That ball, one and only, has that halo at the junction between the glass and the yellowish base. That distinguishes that ball from the rest of the balls. One. Two, we cannot tell at what time that ball entered the bowl. What we are submitting is that it is out of fairness that the EC said, let's ballot and choose the sequence by which we are going to select our positions on the ballot paper. It is also out of fairness that the EC said, in choosing that sequence, it should be an unbiased exercise. Therefore, if the mechanism through which bias is being eliminated itself introduce a bias ball, it undermines the fairness of the first ballot that we did. That is why I'm submitting that if we want an unbiased process at the beginning of the ballot, it is only fair that these same papers that have not been destroyed are folded quickly into the replacement ball, and the first stage of the ballot repeated. That is the only way, because it is obvious, and I plead that the media is allowed, in the name of transparency, to take close shots of that ball which I have objected to, and everybody will understand. That is all I'm saying. Thank you.
Please allow.
So I can't no, you can make a statement.
No, you
wait when he finishes. You can.
Yes. Thank you, Deputy Commissioners. At the start of this whole exercise, parties discussed. You subjected your boss to be Hello, sir. At the commencement of this exercise, you subjected your boss to scrutiny by parties upon concerns raised by the NDC. They examined the balls in its type, nature, character, and weight. APC, this same. LPG, this same. New Patriotic Party, we sat here and we allowed it to go. Dr. Omanebwama is raising concern about not knowing where the ball that he's objecting to came from. We were all here when the balls were opened, numbers were slotted in, closed, and put into a bowl for parties to come and select. Per the submissions of Dr. Omanebwama, is indicting all of us that we've not been detailed, we've been shallow, and we are here supporting biasness. That is not the position of the New Patriotic Party. We've gone through the first round of picking numbers to indicate the order of picking to be on the ballot. We appreciate transparency, fairness, professionalism. We will not sit here for his own judgment to be used as the rules of the game. At this point, the New Patriotic Party submit that the ball that has been contested should be taken out and others added, so that we have the 9 set of balls to go through this exercise and complete peacefully. I think that we've entertained a lot, and at this stage, the process must be allowed to continue. This is the position of the New Patriotic Party.
Okay, Jerry.
Yes, I am very surprised. I do not know why we have to even come to this stage. Because these balls were in the bowl that was handed to the NDC, Dr. Omanebwama, General Secretary Fifi Kweti. They spent well over 7 minutes. No, I'm coming. They spent over 7 minutes examining the balls. He was not able to fish any ball out. We are all here. There is no difference between the ball he's talking about and the other balls. But we are just letting it go because we don't want to act like we don't want to accept what he's saying. We are just letting it go. That we take out the ball. Left for me, I wouldn't have allowed that. But for the sake of peace, we allowed it to hold. They have taken out the ball. Why is it saying something else? Was he not the same person who agreed that the balls were okay? Yes. So I am surprised. Dr. Hassan Ayarika and his General Secretary, Mordecai, also took the balls and then they did what they have to do with it and they said everything was okay. We did same. So what is Dr. Omanebwama's contention? I think he has a strategy of delaying every process that is supposed to move forward for us to go and then campaign to our people to get votes. Yes, you are right. He is deliberate. He knows he's not going to win, and deliberately he just don't go there. Please.
Okay, citizens. Citizens.
Please let's take the let's take the last two, one from APC and then one from GCPP. Then we move into the second round.
Issue and challenge has been addressed. We've removed the ball. If he's not happy with it, we can change the entire ball, call it and bring in new. I'm sure that we don't have. If you don't have many, then if he's satisfied with that, I think that's a con for us to move on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think probably the way the balls are, many might feel that we can look at it, if possible. If we can have a very dark sack or something that the balls so that we put everything in. Yes. You cannot see it. So that we put them here. You just take your one. The issue that has been raised was that probably if it was choose that particular one. But if it's something that you cannot easily see, then probably you might not be have any. There's also the point. See, there's no how can something being organized manually be biased? I know that balls normally, no, I'm coming. Normally balls in using ballot
if it's mechanized, then weights can have influence on it. That is where probably we can talk about the weights are different, or maybe certain characteristics of it is different. Balls, what is mechanized, must be uniform. But this is a manual cannon. Even if it's shaking, you can't have any bias around it. Yes.
Okay, so I hope it's clear. So let's, Mr. Director, move on.
Yeah, move for quality back the microphone.
What's the name? We have to show.
Maybe when they pick, you should get something they can do. Please, they're making progress. So don't worry. Please, so Dr. Yerga, were you suggesting we shouldn't use the transparent?
That's important.
No, they said that
that's it. No. Please.
If they change the ball,
the position regarding
the ball has been changed.
Yeah, the position.
So please send the balls round again. You give it to, and let's be sure.
That's not all. That's not all. And the position regarding the transparency of the ball itself has to be taken into consideration. Because obviously, if somebody has a tip ahead, watching through, you can see the ball end. So some opacity around doesn't give anybody that advantage. Okay. That's important.
So maybe.
And also your officer in the small.
Yeah.
You're acting a bit weird, putting your hands all over your pockets. It's a bit. You can just step out. Very weird. Your hands are constantly hiding.
Changing the ball. You stop it. Otherwise, I'm not going to break another number.
Okay, please let's make some progress.
What are you
I say we will not use the ball, but we will
Please, we need to make progress. Sir.
Chair.
In the name of transparency, and on account. I want to speak for the box now.
Doc, please, we are getting something. So let's make progress.
In the name of transparency, the media will transparency for what are they going to give them the opportunity to capture it.
I mean, I don't know.
Can you find a way? When it's open, black politician, we should take that.
Okay, please, these are the numbers for the second stage.
You want that?
So we have a problem with the fact that we don't you understand? If there is a difference and you go ahead, you can look through. But if it's take away the mic, no, we are saying that if it is opaque, you will not have any advantage of seeing anything and picking what you're looking for. So if it's transparent, you have to see that that's the
contention is contention is how you can identify something.
John, I think you Please the media, can you step back so that the candidates will have? If you are not having sophisticated cameras to capture from that, then what are you doing?
Okay, please, we are moving on to the second stage of balloting, and this is the color that we are using, numbered from 1 to 9. So, what's the secretary? Come and endorse at the back.
But don't they have to see the please? Let them see the ball figure, please.
These are the balls.
Let them look at it.
So we can examine them, please.
Doc, check them. No, let's
just be sure.
Are you calculating your time immediately? Let's look at the time you are spending on the ball.
This one.
Please, all the numbers.
Are we agreed that it should be in an opaque thing that nobody will be able to see? Are we agreed on that?
So would that amount to transparency?
Yes.
That opaque.
So that you don't. No. To make sure you don't have an advantage. Let me show you something. If you're going ahead, you have an advantage. Let me show you. You can see you're clearly that is actually transparency.
On account, so if you want a transparent,
yes, so that you don't have an advantage. Me, because if it's the case, you don't have an advantage.
If I see this, you'll be able to direct me. You understand? So if you are not seeing what you are thinking,
it makes it easy.
Introduces that level of offense. I think we need to hold on. When the person takes it, he holds on. He doesn't play. And then you are okay. Yes. So that's people avoid. That still doesn't solve it. You see, it is picking. It is the picking.
So we want to make sure that nobody has an advantage in the picking. So,
Madam, you are collecting my somewhere.
That doesn't give anybody any advantage. It doesn't give anybody any advantage. That doesn't give anybody any advantage. You have no advantage.
That is such a problem.
Yes, that fighting, that's what I'm referring to. I want to say, more than then it's what the money. It's not fighting, that's what I'm referring to.
About the way they are, they will not be the same. Please, let me quickly so that we can make progress.
To avoid the remote
Are we okay?
Whatever it is, you have the one that
the issue that you replace it.
They've examined it. They have done same, other parties have done same.
But
let them hear from
there are differences. Let me show you. You see, look, what is Charlie? What microscopy have you done in your life? Let me show you something. Media, please get closer. Even here, okay. Watch this. See.
This one.
If you see this, you see that. So you need to.
You can't spend the whole night here.
But I also don't understand why.
No, you take off. Let me go through.
You know what I want to show you? No, I've also experienced something. Look at this. The balls are in names. They are in names. They are not supposed to be in names. No, they have different names. They have different names. Night.
Day and night. Day and night.
It's not supposed to be like this because they cannot have names on it. They are supposed to be transparent. So day, night, with some other names, it's not fair.
Then my we'll see that we'll take off.
This day and night. Day and night. Day and night.
You're watching TV3. We are your election command center. The Electoral Commission is deliberating the way forward after the NDC raised concerns about the transparency of the process. Now, if you saw the ball, you see that one side is transparent and the other side is gold-coated. Now, the NDC's point is that if I go first to pick a ball, if I see from the transparent point, I would know the number I am picking. I will see the numbers that are there in that bowl, and I will pick the best. The NPP, on the other hand, says that, listen, you identified a particular ball. Well, I'll tell you more, but let's go back. Benjamin Barnobio, who is Director of Electoral Services, is speaking.
Without looking into it. Without looking into it. Yes. No. You because looking into it. What is the difference? Because by looking, you are taking for something. You cannot. Because you are
presidential candidate has been going on campaign.
Their uniform.
And I'm picking on his behalf. And I cannot look at what I'm picking.
So that you try
Please, we will put it in the bag, keep them here. You come and then you pick what you want.
Let me make a point.
No, let me make a point.
Please. You know, no. You can speak after me. You can speak after me.
I think that what we need to do now is that these people, let's get an independent person to come and put them in those boxes. Yes. Let's get an independent person. And the other put them in the boxes. So who's an independent person here? A media.
Just hold on.
No, all these arguments.
Let me make my point. Let me make my point. Let me make my point. Can I make that?
Please, we need to make progress. We are here to do it for the independent candidates. Please, we need to make progress. Can I make your point?
Very good. Now, the point we are making is simple. And what we're asking for is actually not giving anybody any advantage. When you put the opacity and you still look, then nothing has been achieved. Because the reason why we're asking for opacity is that your eyes will not have an advantage of seeing any distinguishing difference.
Go and fold them.
No, hold on.
Go and fold them.
No, hold on. Will you allow me to just make it?
Please allow him to.
If you're watching international ballot properly, ordinarily, your hand goes even into it without you. All you do is to shuttle and pick one. You don't look. But the moment your eyes can see and there are differences, you will be able to look for the one you're looking for and pick it out. That's why we're asking for opacity. And what Dr. Yariga said about an independent person putting on is actually a good arrangement as well, to ensure that since there is doubt all over, let somebody who is complaining know not to be part of the party do that. That helps.
I share what General Fifi that in some balloting, FIFA balloting, they may do that. We are in the jurisdiction of Ghana.
No, that's benchmark. Please, international benchmark.
We don't have the CI of FIFA.
There's international benchmark.
The CI of FIFA, we don't have it here. We have the CI of the EC. It doesn't tell us how balloting is done. But the convention has been that there's the first phase of balloting. We determine the order of placement to be done. So that has been. From the first moment this process started, the first concerns were raised by my brother. How? Please, we all appreciated it. We examined the balls. We spent almost an hour debating on whether the balls are unique or not. But I will re-emphasize the point that the balls were examined in their nature, character, weight, and form. Please, at this point, if you want an independent person to come and fold the numbers into the balls, I really don't have any problem. I will nominate Madam Ekiadongo, but I will not do that.
And what makes it independent?
You know, I will not do that because this is a electoral commission. You've invited here for an exercise, and you are not bold to say that this is what you are doing. Is that what we are doing here?
Listen.
I'm sorry.
No. You're reacting to me. It's important that I clarify. What we are asking for is not to the advantage of anybody. No, we are asking for a process that gives all of us equal advantage. That's all I'm saying.
Please. I know. Please. You just know we are coming. Let's allow this happen.
We can't hear you.
Please, to move forward, I would suggest that we put everything in that plastic and allow.
You just put your hand there,
put your hands in, pick whatever you have to pick.
Then you go.
And then,
without seeing it.
Without seeing it. I tell you to avoid the delays that you are going through.
I want to help you.
And then also,
I want to help you bring somebody very worried.
No, that was not.
I want to help you. Another option is to now we don't want to support transparency again.
Yeah, you're afraid of transparency.
That's why we don't want to support transparency again.
Gary,
if they don't
you're afraid of transparency.
There's a second
back.
You're afraid of transparency.
option.
And you ask for a
something you see, you want to see.
Fold these papers wrong and without the vote, and we take it without the ball. Without the ball.
You want
yes. Without the ball. So yes, all
the points are okay.
I am personally surprised that when an issue was raised here, you said you have noted it down and you will get back to them. Why are we wasting time here?
Because of transparency.
Are you not noting it down?
Because of transparency. No, because of transparency.
Please note it down and get back to them.
Transparency is absolutely
necessary. I think all your points have been made. No. Just give us some few minutes. We'll respond.
But before you go, No, your initial rule, which was when you pick your ball.
Please go on. You make your point.
Your initial rule, you pick the ball. You pick the ball and you open, so you get your number and show it to the public. I think that has caused the problem we are having now. Because when the New Patriotic Party pick, you pick number 1 in order of balloting for the second, and it's raising all this.
No.
The rules and conventions have been same.
No, it is not because
never departed from it.
It is not because you pick number 1.
Please, I'm saying that where you have examined the balls, you could not say anything until the New Patriotic Party picked number 1.
It is even the same ball, and balls were not swapped.
The balls were in the bowl, in a transparent bowl, Now you prefer an opaque. Opaque.
The opacity is to stop you from having an advantage. It's to stop you from having an advantage. It's because you're then afraid. You're obviously afraid. Because you don't have an advantage. That's why you are worried. Yes. Obviously, the transparency helps you to choose a particular one. That's why you are scared. You're obviously afraid.
Hello. Are you a media person?
What's the problem?
Why are you videoing me?
Videoing you. Everybody's videoing you. Why are you
It's a lie, you said. You are preaching.
You don't want this goal. You want to
that actually is what will make sure you don't have any advantage. Everybody must have the same advantage.
Why has NDC gotten 3 representatives here?
It's not supposed to be here.
Yes,
it's not supposed to be
my party.
What is you're afraid? You're afraid because you know you won't be able to see. You're afraid of lack of. You're afraid of transparency. You are scared because you're able to see. Now you cannot see. You cannot see. You are afraid.
Jerry, it's also please. We need to make progress. Please. We need to make progress. Please. Please.
There's nothing to worry about. This is an open.
Please, wait, hold on. Please, just be on this side. You just be on this side for us. Be on this side for us. Please, we are. Hello, we need to make progress.
Dr. Yarega, did you bring your bodyguards in? Did they allow you?
Let's move on. Please.
Please, you're scared. Please, you're scared. Your game plan has been exposed. Please. You cannot proceed. You cannot proceed. Yes, you cannot proceed. Because you obviously know that.
Please,
you're worried.
Chairman, please, let's make progress. Please, it's okay. Let's make progress. Thank you. So we are proceeding. Hey! No, they've understood. It's also going, please.
Thank you very much. We are moving on to the second stage. The positions, the tickets for the position have been endorsed.
Let's look.
Look at the back of it. That is position 1. 2, the back is endorsed. 3, the back is endorsed. Good. 4, the back is endorsed. 5, the back is endorsed. 6, the back is endorsed. 7, the back is endorsed. 8, the back is endorsed. 9, the back is endorsed. We are going to fold them and keep them in this box.
Have we agreed on the process for it?
No,
let's be sure.
let him fold them.
Okay.
Thank you. Finish.
Sweating. Be on that condition about
Take more pictures.
Sweating be on that condition environment.
Because we have the same body temperature. Because we have the same medical doctor, we have the same body temperature.
Between 36.5 and 37.
Because you are imagining Macron.
36.5 and 37. Very narrow range. Conversations.
That's what I'm very
You see how cool we are? We are very relaxed. Very relaxed. Very relaxed.
I think that we knew he wants to have
it's not true.
Because he was
making it. That's not true. He has spotted the thing. He has spotted the thing already. He was making it again. He spotted the thing already.
What is written is written.
Your defeat is written.
Anything about it.
Your defeat is written.
You can do anything.
Your defeat is written.
Please. No, we have not. Yes. Nakalu, you are candidate for president.
An empty ball.
I don't know which one is being put in.
This is your first time. The next election, the result is
It won't be like this again. That's why we're here. That's why young people like us are here.
It must not be like this.
We're here to change.
It must not be like this.
You call yourself young. That's why you are an old man.
Doesn't matter. But at least I won't be wearing sunglasses and sitting here and minding my mind.
Okay. You have money on the number.
Come over here, Please, all the 9 balls are here.
Then look, and then put them on the table. The mic, before we examine the ball. Put the mic and put the balls on the table. Put them in the table. Why? Put them in the table. On the table. It should be on the table. It should be on the table. It should be on the table.
Take charge of this thing. This is ridiculous. We are making progress. The director is going to tell us what the commission has decided. He is leading us. So,
please, let there be orderliness. Commission has decided that we put them in this carrier bag. You come and pick. Then we move on.
Without looking. Without looking. Without looking.
You can look at me. It doesn't
Have we agreed that nobody's looking in before picking? Let's agree on that. Let's agree on that.
Yeah, you just put your hands here and you pick.
So it's an agreement. Nobody looks in, you just pick.
You come, you pick, and then
so you have the order. Director, you have the order immediately.
Yes, please. I want to go over the order again. MPP number 1, APC number 2, GUM number 3, NDP 4, GFP 5, GCPP 6, NDC 7, LPG 8, and CPP 9. So we call upon the rep of MPP to come and pick one of the balls.
No looking into the container. We've agreed on that.
Come on, guys.
I mean, it's invalidated. I mean, once that happens, it's invalidated. Because the reason why we do not want
Let everybody pick. Let everybody pick. Please. The commissioner said the director of elections is moderating it. Please sit down.
Sit down.
Please, okay. Sit down.
APC.
Number 2, APC.
Please choose.
Exactly. That's exactly what is done. It's all right. APC did it.
Number 3, boom.
Am I supposed to open it before everyone?
No, wait. Not when we finish.
We don't want anybody to predict what is coming.
The only thing is we don't have to see the same number and 2 different ones.
Number 4, NDP.
Bring somebody in to add to your number.
What number are you talking about? How did I change anything?
Let's deal with
GFP number 5.
Where you are looking. Who taught us probability? Our probability teachers must be turning in the aggregation.
What you tell them? He just showed you how it's
Number 6, GCPP.
GCPP, you have nothing to hide or no skill. You will be insisting on looking.
when we have proven, obviously.
Number 7, NDC. Number 8, LPG. Number 9, CPP. With my church. Okay, please. You can now open your balls. You can now open your balls, please. MPP.
MPP, let's make progress so that we write it down.
What did you pick? What did you pick? Can you show it to the camera?
New patriotic part, number 1.
MPP number 1.
Number 1.
This is real. Yes. It is real.
APC. What did you please?
Chairman, please come.
APC. What did you pick?
Please, when you finish, I check my ball. Can I get it?
APC number 9.
APC number 9.
Please, can I get a ball?
Boom. Boom had number 4. NDP number 6.
NDP 6.
GFP number 3. GCPP number 2. NDC number 8 for NDC. LPG number 5.
Sir, can I get a ball? Thank you.
CPP number 7 for CPP.
Are they taking a picture?
You can keep them.
Number 8.
Oh, yes.
8.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, representatives of political parties, I want to take you through the positions on the ballot. On the ballot paper, MPP will be the first position. The second position will be GCPP. The second position will be the third position will be GFP. The fourth position will be GUM. The fifth position will be LPG. The sixth position will be NDP. The seventh position will be CPP. Eighth position will be NDC. And ninth position will be APC. So that is all the positions on the presidential ballot. We thank you for your cooperation. It is now the turn for the independent candidates. So the political parties can excuse us. I wish you all the best. Unless you want to witness that of the independent candidates. Where can you let them sit closer?
Where do we get the parliamentary
I'll get the number. I wanted to get the one that was you.
So they cannot tell those who are past those who are
okay, they are going to use what we have here. But in case there are independent candidates,
assuming so are we now say that all our parliamentary candidates are going to
okay, we haven't actually
yeah, so when do we
they will start bringing
them to us from Monday. Then we'll do another bet like we did for the presidential. After that, we'll let you know.
All the best, bro. All the best.
Independent candidates, it's now your turn.
TV3, this is your election command center. What you have just witnessed, the political parties pick their positions on the ballot paper for the general elections in December of 2024. I'll take you over the list again. You know, after all the confusion over, the transparency of the process, the Electoral Commission made some adjustments, but we know that post the adjustments, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia remains number one on the ballot paper. Number two is Daniel Augustus Latte Jr., son of Dan Latte of the Great Consolidated Popular Party. Third on the ballot paper is Equia Donko of the Ghana Freedom Party. Fourth on the ballot paper is Gooms Christian Kwabena Andrews. And number 5 is Kofi Akpalu of the Liberal Party of Ghana. Number 6 is the NDP, the National Democratic Party. Mohamed Frimpong takes that position on the ballot paper. Number 7 is Nana Kosua Frimpong Kumankuma of the Convention People's Party. Number 8 is the NDC's John Dramani Mahama. And number 9 is Hassan Ayariga of the All People's Congress. The next phase of the exercise is for the independent candidate to also ballot for their places on the voting sheet or the voter sheet come December 7th, 2024. And in a bit, we'll go there so that we bring you closer to the process that gives the independent candidate as well a chance on that ballot paper. It takes us a step closer to the elections. So remember, it's 77 days, and this is another stage that we need to cross in order to be able to go into that booth on December 7th to vote. And if I may go over the list again for the political parties. Mahamudu Bawumia comes first on the ballot paper, followed by Daniel Augustus Latte of the Great Consolidated Popular Party. Number 3 is Equia Donko, Ghana Freedom Party. Number 4 is Christian Kwabena Andrews of Ghana Union Movement. And then number 5 is Kofi Akpalu of the Liberal Party of Ghana. Number 6 is Mohamed Frimpong of the National Democratic Party, NDP. Number 7 is Nana Kosua Frimpong Kumankuma of the Convention People's Party. And number 8 is the NDC's John Dramani Mahama. Finally, we see the APC's Hassan Ayariga being taking the number 9 position on the ballot paper. Remember, there are 13 candidates, but 4 of them are independent candidates, and this is the stage where we are. They will also pick from number 10, 11, 12, 13th, because there are 13 of them. You understand that? So we'll see these independent candidates, these 4, including Nana Kwame Bediakon, Alan Tremanting. We also know there is Jochum Berima Edu and Kofi Kurantin. All 4 of them are represented there. We see that Kofi Kurantin is there himself. Nana Kwame Bediakon of the New Force Movement is also there himself. Alan Tremanting is represented by Yabuabia Samoa over there. The Jochum Berima Edu is also represented there. We will see each one of them also go through the same process The political parties have gone through from 10 to 13. So they'll pick between the numbers 10, 11, 12, and 13 in order to place them on the ballot paper. Let's listen in now.
So please mention the party in order of submission and let us go.
So we are calling the independent candidates in this order. We'd like to invite Nana Kwame Ibiako.
The order of filing.
Order of filing.
Candidates are going through the same process. In order of filing, they will pick the first set of balls, and then those set of balls will determine how they pick their positions on the ballot paper. But right now, I want to speak with Haruna Mohammed of the NPP. Haruna, Dr. Mohamed Baumia and the NPP come number one on the ballot paper. How does that come to you?
I think that this is the oneness of God. The Lord, the good God that we worship is one. He has no companion. And I believe that Dr. Baumia represents the future of this party. We need one individual to be able to resonate well and take Ghana from where we have it today. And I believe that that is a sign of victory. That is a sign of forward movement. That is a sign that Ghana will shine again.
I see. That victory you speak about was not without the confusion that preceded the, the balloting we have witnessed at the headquarters of the Electoral Commission. Your representative there, Evans Nimakon, trying to make the point that the process is as transparent as possible. Watching from where you are, what did you make of the process?
I wasn't there. I went for a peace, National Peace Council meeting at Kofi Annan. I have not been able to abreast myself with the preceding events before the picking of the ballot. But what I do understand is that it is clearly stated that they would do so in order of filing. And His Excellency, the Vice President and the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, was the first person to visit the Electoral Commission to file his nomination in the company of the General Secretary, the National Chairman, the campaign chairman, and all the dignitaries within the rank and file of the New Patriotic Party. So if that has been the norm, and then we have been doing this in political cycles to always agree with the rules before you start. So if this has been the practice or something that has been agreed upon, I don't see why political parties would be fighting over some of this. But I said I don't know what the issues were, and I cannot speak to the events that happened, but to speak to the fact that we picked number one, and I think that this is a sign of victory for us.
I see. And, in past elections, we have seen how political parties have folded their positions on the ballot paper in their messaging. Are we going to see some kind of, some of that in the future as far as the NPP's messaging is concerned?
I think that in political cycle, marketing is very key. How you coin your message with respect to your ballot position is very key. All actors within the political cycle will develop messages to represent their positions. And I think that the NPP will not do anything different from what we have done in the previous elections. Remember, there was a time where on the ballot down there, and we said Atioho. So we have always found a way of making sure that we are able to coin and market our candidate. And this personality that we are going to market is somebody that resonates very well, and the people of Ghana understand and get to know that this particular man is a very different politician who will be able to do things differently to be able to get a better result for all of us.
Indeed, Haruna, I appreciate you talking to us. Haruna Mohammed is Deputy General Secretary for the NPP, who says their position on the ballots, which is number one, is a sign of victory for the party. He's also been commenting on the confusion in the lead up to the position balloting. You're live here on TV3. This is your election command center. We'll get more reactions from the political parties, the candidates represented there. But right now, let's join the Electoral Commission officers and the independent candidates who are going through the same process.
Hold them and keep each of them in one of the boxes.
Benjamin Bano Bio is the man you see in your shot at the moment. He is going through the numbers, inserting those numbers in the ball, after which each of the, the independent candidates represented there will go across to the front and pick a ball. Now, this ball will determine their place on the ballot paper. Again, this is the first stage. The first stage is where you pick the number and it shows, my understanding is the first stage is done. Remember, we were talking to Haruna Mohammed of the NPP at the time the first stage was going on. So this is the second stage where they pick between 10 and 13, indicating which one of them will come after the APC's Hassan Ayariga, who is number 9 on the ballot paper. And so that is what you see now. I saw Kofi Kranting pick a ball. Soon they will show the numbers in those balls, hidden in those balls. That is also the independent candidate, Jochum Berima Edu, who's just picked a ball as well. Remember I told you that, let's take a look at them now. Well, that is Nana Ohenento, who is with the movement for change, and so Alan Chermanting is number 13 on the ballot. Number 10 goes to Kofi Kranting, who comes right after the APC's Hassan Ayariga. We'll see two more to go. 2 more to go. We will see that from Chum Berima Edu, who is also just exchanged the ball. Well, number 12 is the new force movements Nana Kwame Bediakon, which then tells us that number 11 is George Chum Berima Edu. So this is how the independent candidates come in case you were confused. Number 10, we have Kofi Kranting. Number 11, we have George Chum Berima Edu. Number 12, we have Nana Kwame Bediakon. And the last on the ballot paper for this year's election is Alan Kwejo Tremanting of the Movement for Change. All 4 of them are independent candidates. If you just joined us, the political parties have gone through the process. There are 9 of them in the presidential race. And from 1 to 9, all those positions have been filled. Now is the 10 of the independent candidates who have also picked ballot 10 to 13. And I'll go over it again. Number 10 is Kofi Kranting. Number 11 is Jochum Berima Edu. Number 12 is Nana Kwame Bediakon. And number 13 is Alan Kwejo Tremanting. Now we know what the ballot paper is going to look like. Now we know which faces will be seen and where they will be positioned. Let's go over the entire list, including the political parties. Number 1, Muhammadu Bawumia of the NPP. Number 2, Dan Latte of the Great Consolidated Popular Party. Number 3 is Sekua Donko of the Ghana Freedom Party. Number 4 is Christian Kwabena Andrews of GUM. Number 5, Kofi Akpalu of LPG. Number 6 is Mohammed Frimpong from the National Democratic Party. Number 7 is Nana Akosua Frimpong Kumankuma of the CPP. Number 8 is John Dramani Mahama of the NDC. Number 9 is Hassan Ayariga of the All People's Congress APC. Then the independent candidates. Number 10, Kofi Kranting. Number 11, George Chum Berima Edu. Number 12, Nana Kwame Bediako. And number 13, Alan Kwejo Tremanting. Let's take a listen to Samuel Tete as he addresses the candidates. Well, my understanding is we cannot take you there for audio at the moment. We are fixing that challenge and then bring you some sounds as you see pictures from the Electoral Commission. This is a live coverage of the ballot for presidential candidates. We have told you, and the EC has reiterated, that the positioning for the presidential candidates will be the same for the parliamentary candidates. And again, it's very nuanced. If a presidential candidate is not fielding a candidate in the parliamentary race, they lose that position, the nearest candidate takes it. Now, if there is no presidential candidate in, in the ballot for the presidential race, but they are fielding parliamentary candidates, it also comes with its own challenges. You follow the file as it is on the paper. And so while we say that the presidential ballot affects the parliamentary ballot, remember that the parliamentary ballot is much more nuanced because there are candidates who are not fielding presidential candidates, or there are parties who are not fielding presidential candidates, or there are some presidential candidates or parties who are not fielding parliamentary candidates in certain areas or certain constituencies of this country. But it's done and dusted after much confusion over whether or not the process is transparent or biased. Because, the NDC had raised concerns about the ball and the fact that the number is being seen in the ball that the Electoral Commission has chosen to use for the process. The Electoral Commission decided to make some adjustments. We saw Evans Nimako go in first. Despite all that had been said, he still looked through the bag, he picked his number, and it was number 1. The others followed suit, trying to not to look in the bag. They didn't look in the bag, and they picked the numbers that they picked. Listen, my guess is there will be a lot of conversations after this one, after the event today. And we here at TV3, in fact, the entire 3 group, will bring you those conversations the rest of the day at 7 p.m. on 360 and on Ghana Tonight. Hot edition probably going on at the moment. But let me have a quick conversation before I wrap up our live coverage today. Dr. Boama Otukono will be joining us in a tad for a quick reaction on this. Remember, he's a member of the NDC, a former executive of the party. But I do want to, take us back into time, some of the sounds we have picked up from this event, this live event. Let's take a listen to some of the candidates.
Nimako, you picked number 1. How significant is it for you?
Well, I mean, yes, we'll be the number 1 on the ballot. And hopefully it will portray to the voters that once you are giving the ballot paper, you just look on top of it and see Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia and make it easier for you to vote and fold your ballot into the box and it will be counted by the EC. By God's grace, it is possible. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia will secure the necessary votes to constitute government January 7, 2025.
You were interested in picking the number 1. Is there a particular reason why? Just asking.
This whole exercise was random sampling, probability. We didn't do it once. It was a number of them. So please, by God's grace, we committed into the hands of the Lord Almighty. We picked. We were number 1 to file. In order of picking, we picked 1. in order of placement on the ballot, we pick one. We think that it is not for any purpose. It is the will of God.
I want to talk to the NDC's Dr. Peter Boama Ochekono on how they have emerged in the exercise today. Doc, how are you feeling about where you place?
Was completely fraudulent, and that is what our General Secretary and Dr. Omane Boama was trying to explain at the balloting process. I mean, from the beginning, you would see that some group of fraudulent individuals at the EC and the MPP have planned to perpetrate some crime at the balloting, and clearly that is what they did. After even the concerns were raised, and everybody agreed that the balloting itself should be done in an opaque container where you do not look at the balls. Clearly, if the MPP does not look at the balls, they will not be able to pick the number that they want. But this number is completely meaningless, and it contributes nothing to the electoral victories. And if anybody even cares about numbers, they should be worried about the number 8 that we have picked for President Mahama, because in the Pythagorean numerology, 8 means victory, 8 means prosperity, 8 means overcoming, and 8 is a very strong divine number that exudes victory, prosperity, and overcoming. And so that should be something that the MPP should be worried about. Indeed, we believe that this 8 number would be the 8 that stops the 8.
I see. It looks like, that sounds like a really good punchline. But you also talk about the Electoral Commission, and you think that they have connived with certain people. But we saw the events. The Electoral Commission made certain changes to the process, things you had asked for. How would you describe the adjustments that they made?
The changes, the adjustments was not made at all. Our preliminary concern was about the ball. The ball was compromised. There was a specific ball that had been compromised, and that ball was what was used to take through the initial picking, the first phase of the picking, where you establish the order of the balloting itself. And if that one is fraudulent and the person has picked the pre-marked ball, it means that that person can easily pick the number that they want. And so what we were suggesting, what Dr. Omane Boama was advocating, was that we go back and after removing that ball, as they claim, they conduct the balloting again for the order of picking of the main ballot, so that bias that has been inherently introduced by the Electoral Commission would be cured. But again, they refused. And you realize that finally when they said they have taken the ball out, the final ball that went into the ball is the same ball that had that patch, that white patch around the golden area. And it was so visible. Dr. Omane Boama demanded that the cameras come close to the ball. And you saw how the balls were palpably different. And so for Ivan Sinimaku to go into the so-called opaque bag and still look into the bag and pick that same ball tells you something. And that is the level and the extent of criminality we have introduced into our democracy. And it is very worrying.
What, Doc, are you saying when the Electoral Commission, took the decision to go and change that ball, they didn't change it? Because it would seem they had come back with a different ball.
We all watched Dr. Omane Boama taking a shot of the balls when they finally concluded and inserted before they put them in the bag. And the shot that he took includes that particular ball. You understand? And again, the balls that were used, even the one without the patch, are completely different. They are different. Some are gold, some are openly transparent. And so that makes it easy for anybody who has planned any criminality to perpetrate that criminality. And that was exactly what was displayed at the EC office.
I see. Is this the end of the debate around the process as we have seen today?
Sorry, I missed that one.
I'm asking that since, you have been able to accept your position on the ballot, do I take it as this is the end of the, the debate or contestation around the process we have seen today?
Oh, I mean, certainly the balloting has been done. We are satisfied with the 8. We are going with the 8. And as I have explained to you, 8 means victory, 8 means prosperity, 8 means overcoming.
8 is a divine number. It's a very heavy number that exudes overcoming and breaking through barriers. And that is what we are going to do in this election. Remember, we are moving on the banner of resetting Ghana. And to reset Ghana, you need to break the barriers. But after breaking the barriers and resetting Ghana, Ghana must be victorious. Ghana must be prosperous. And that's what number 8 stands for.
Very well, Doc. We'll end our conversation here. I appreciate you talking to us. Dr. Peter Boama Otukono is a member of the NDC, a former executive of the party. Listen, this does not end here. There will be many more interactions and conversations around this. Some of the legs and angles of the entire event that we have seen today that have not been touched upon because of time and the fact that some of our resource persons are very caught up, in the post-balloting event from the Electoral Commission. But we'll continue to touch base on it as we bring you News 360 at 7 p.m. And I'll see you. Well, my understanding is I am not going yet. Let's have one last conversation on this one, and then we can call it, an event. Move on to the rest of our programming for today. Let's talk to political marketing expert, Professor Kobi Mensah. Prof, it's good to speak to you on a matter like this. How will you describe what we have witnessed today?
Kemini, thank you so much for having me. I think that firstly, I will touch on the process, and then, of course, the political parties in the position. Obviously, we need to, as a country, look at our processes. It looks like we still haven't really refined the procedural democracy, as we call it, because we still have contestations on a simple process as balloting. I think that in the institutions that grow, we sort of codify processes, we sort of formalize processes, and we review them and we enhance them. We're still having a certain balloting process that is not codified. I'm not sure the extent to which the EC itself has a certain framework to guide these things. Why should political parties be sitting down and debating on a very simple process as balloting for almost some hours before the balloting happens? We need to have a think about it. I mean, we need to have a certain conversation and make sure that we can refine our processes. Now, secondly, if I look at the balloting positions, I think to the political parties, it doesn't really matter where they actually appear on the ballot because they have mastered the art of creatively selling their positions. Since 2000, we've had quite a number of creative ballot positioning marketing, right from the Asio theory down to John 3:16, down to the perfection, the interpretation of the numbers, etc. So for the political parties, marketing the numbers is not a problem, but for the voters, the different segments of the voters, perhaps we could have an issue if you are mid-table and you actually mix that with quite a number of heavy top, heavy bottom.
I see. So, Prof, I mean, when you look at the confusion that erupted in the hall of the Electoral Commission and how the Electoral Commission handled itself, I mean, what interpretation do you make of the Electoral Commission's ability to have a hold and a control of the political parties?
It is strange, though, because for a process that had been ongoing for quite some time now, since the Fourth Republican Constitution, I suspect, I thought that some of these issues shouldn't be up for contention, but we still have, on a D-Day, political parties contesting these things, and the EC was actually sitting down, looking almost helpless sometimes. I think that we need to have a conversation as a country. How do we assess some of these processes so that they are not up for contestation? It's something that it could be done, but unfortunately, our political system still looks as if it's very primitive. I'm surprised. If you have students, for example, watching this process, let's say university student election, watching this process at a national level, and there's that kind of acrimony, argument, etc., it's quite strange. You can imagine what the student would then say if their process are not perfect on campus.
Also, Prof, I want to, hear your thoughts on how the political parties appear to be attached to where they appear on the ballot paper.
Now, for them, they have mastered again. I think that each political party by now, since 2000, especially when we began, this Asio stuff. Obviously, 92, 96, we didn't have that kind of, marketing of the ballot paper positioning because we were learning the trade.
I mean, shouldn't they have moved away from that and focused on messaging?
No, of course, it's part of the messaging. I mean, you need to have, just like the commercial businesses, you need to have the customer able to identify you on the shelf, all right? Merchandising is part of marketing. If you go into the shop, where your product is placed is very, very important. That's why we have placement, all right? And so it is part of the messaging, and they have mastered it. I think whatever number they choose, they can effectively market it.
Indeed.
Now, the challenge is the segment of the voters. Different segments could have different impact with regards to where the political party
and Prof, I want us to discuss that later tonight. Let's talk again soon. Professor Kobe Mensah, thank you so much for talking to me and us here at your Election Command Center. This is where we draw the curtains on our live event coverage today. The Electoral Commission has now told us who appears where based on the exercise that was undertaken today at their offices here in Accra. More interactions and conversation coming your way at 7 p.m. and at 10 p.m. also here on TV3. But do log on to 3news.com and take a look at the list again. Catch more stories on the balloting and positioning of the political parties or the presidential candidates at 3news.com. I'm Kemeni Amano. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.
Calling all football fans.
The perfect start to the season.
For one weekend in September, you get to watch 10 of the hottest Premier League matches.
Go to the moment.
Stay connected or get back in the action by reconnecting to DSTV.
A crescendo to match anything.
Available from DSTV Access and on DSTV Stream.
Ghana, Africa, are you ready? The countdown to the most explosive Afro experience of the year has begun. It's the 3FM Afro Connect 2024, happening live on Saturday, 21st September at the monumental Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. Come and experience the infectious energy of Africa's great people and the Jollof War. You don't want to miss this epic celebration of Africa. Feel the pulse, feel the vibe of Africa. Are you a vendor or international exhibitor? This is your moment. Come and showcase your unique products to thousands of culture lovers from around the world. Call 0532 200 927 or 0531 100 927 right now. 3FM Afro Connect 2024, where Africa meets the rest of the world.
Proudly sponsored by Fortune Rice, Frito Oil, Bills Microcredit, Fidelity Bank, Flora Tissue, and
High Life Beverages. Powered by 3FM with a media.
Introducing Rexona Non-Stop Protection, 72-hour antiperspirant with breakthrough microtechnology that forms a stronger sweat barrier. Tested to the limit, even during the most intense workouts.
Still clean, dry, and fresh for longer.